What's going on, traders? A few things to talk about. It's going to be a pretty short video because my internet connection has been very weird lately due to a lot of storms that's been happening here. It's been like raining every single day here, so definitely don't want to risk constantly making this video over and over and over. So we're going to make this quick. We're going to go over the SPY, triple Qs, and then we're going to go over semiconductors, and that's pretty much it. So like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So in our last video, we talked about the possibility of last week being a dump and pump. Now, the one thing we were wrong about was the NASDAQ heading towards 21,300, 21,400. We were a bit off. I mean, we hit 21,480, so wasn't completely off, but ultimately I was expecting a further move down towards that 21,300 target, but we didn't get that. So it is what it is. But when we're looking at the SPY, we're just going to focus on the SPY, triple Qs, and Nvidia SMH on this video just to make things go by faster. When we're looking at the SPY, interesting enough, if we go to the weekly time frame, we're pretty close to previous highs. Like, we're really, really close, like so close, right? We're talking about a move towards 613, 610, 613 range, right? And I do think it's very much possible from this point on. But I will say that the market is having a very hard time making this move towards the upside. It could be a liquidity issue, or it can just be uncertainty happening due to this Iran and Israel thing. But ultimately, I do believe, or I wouldn't be surprised, I should say, I wouldn't be surprised we see some type of pullback before we head towards those previous highs at around 610, 613, possibly even higher. And the reason why I say that is because in our Discord link will be in the description below. In our Discord, the Discord bot alerted that institutions are in VIX calls, 21 strike calls for June 18th, which is this upcoming Wednesday. And crazy enough, Jerome Powell does speak this upcoming Wednesday. We find out if we get rate cuts or not. I don't think we are, but we find out what's going on Wednesday. We have FOMC on Wednesday, so it's going to be interesting to see how these play out. So far, every VIX alert that has come in through the Discord bot pretty much has played out, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens come between tomorrow and Wednesday. And then there's a gold call right there if you guys are interested in that. I know a lot of you trade gold, but when we go back to the SPY here, and if we are talking about some type of dip prior to previous highs or even all-time highs, it's very much possible that we head back towards at least 595, 590. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. It's just something you want to look out for if that VIX alert is going to play out, right? But it's really hard to see that because we're looking really, really strong. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, you have an evening star pattern, and you have this potential gap fill all the way at around 598. So maybe we see a move towards that area right there and then bounce from there. You guys know how important 598 is. We talked about this in the last video. So maybe we see something like this before heading back towards the upside, because there's a lot of turbulence in this area. So we're going to need some really bad news. Now, there's another gap here at around 593, 592, which is another scenario we could be looking at. But ultimately, guys, I will have to say that I do expect more downside. And the reason why I do expect more, not downside, sorry, upside. And the reason why I expect that is because of semiconductors. We'll talk about that in a bit. But your key levels when it comes to the SPY, it goes without saying, 598 is a key level here. 598, 596, 595 psych level. And then if you break below 595, chances are you're heading towards 592. For now, when it comes to upside, I mean, you're creating like tops over and over. You can call this a double top, triple top. I wouldn't argue with you either way. But as you guys can see, I mean, SPY is kind of, dumping after hours. I wouldn't take it too serious right now, but you have a top here, another top here. So you could be looking at a triple top within this area here, and we possibly break down. Maybe we saw some type of bull trap today. Now, me personally, I don't think we're quite there yet. It doesn't necessarily, triple tops, double tops are not necessarily valid until you break the neckline. The neckline, in my opinion, is around 595. So if we manage to break below 595, you can push it and say 594, which is where this gap fill is. Then I would say this is not valid just yet. Pay attention to it, of course, but don't go trading it like crazy unless you have some type of validation or confirmation that this is going to play out, whether it's some indicator or whatever you're using. Okay, so SPY. Downside, we talked about the key levels. Upside, I'm looking at 604. 604, you break above 604. 605 is your psych level. From there, 607 is the most important level for you to start heading towards previous highs. Right where this bearish wick is right here. So that's what we're looking at for the SPY. Now, if we're talking about all-time highs, and we're talking about shorts getting squeezed out of their position, right? We're talking about some type of squeeze happening. We can head as high as about the 620s, 620, 630, somewhere around that range. We go to the weekly time frame here. Let's reset this. I mean, the top of this rising wedge pattern, surprise, there's a rising wedge on the weekly time frame. But the top of this rising wedge pattern, you're talking about a move all the way towards 620, 630s, but around that range. And that's when I think, if we do get to this point, that's when I think the actual market top is going to be in, and then we start seeing a move back towards these gap fills all the way towards the downside on everything, basically the SPY and QES, so on and so forth. So this is going to be something you want to, mark on your charts if you believe in patterns. If you don't, then just ignore it. Do what you got to do. All right, so that's what we're looking at for the SPY. Triple Qs. Triple Q's at a very critical spot. We do have a little bit more upside here towards our previous highs at around 540. We're on the daily time frame here, and as you guys can see, we're having a hard time holding above 534. If we can't stay above 534, then there's a good chance that we head back towards the downside. Your key level is 530. From there, you're looking at 525. I don't have it marked, but source, trust me, bro. 525, and then the lowest you can be looking at is 522. Now, if the VIX does decide to play out, or that play decides to play out, and let's say that gold play decides to play out, then we're looking at some massive downside. Like, we're talking about a move below 522. You guys know 522, 521. You guys know how important that level is. So we can be looking at a move towards as low as 515. That's if the gold play decides to play out, because we're seeing that gold has been pretty much a safe haven for whenever the market dumps. We're seeing a slight rotation into gold. We always see that whenever the market dumps, corrects, whatever you want to call it. All right, so that's what you want to pay attention to. Again, you do have an evening star pattern on the daily time frame. It doesn't necessarily mean this has to play out right away, though. Maybe we dump back towards the downside. Maybe we hit about 525, 527 range, and then head back towards the upside. But for now, I will remain bullish as long as we hold these key levels. There's nothing to really panic about just yet. Just be careful with the triple Q staying below 534. Now, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, again, you have this evening star pattern. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. Now, if you need an example on how evening star patterns play out, here's a perfect example right here. You have an evening star pattern. You gapped all the way down here to 525, and then you started to recover back towards the upside. So it's very much possible we can be looking at the same scenario here, guys. All right. The SPY has been creating. I've never seen evening stars and morning stars get created so much lately. Like, this is insane. Okay, so you're seeing a lot of these bearish bullish patterns, these very strong bearish and bullish patterns form over and over and very consistently. Bearish engulfing patterns, evening stars, morning star patterns. I mean, it's pretty crazy, right? And so it looks like we're creating some type of double top here, but again, we're not confirming this double top until we break below that key level of 522, 521, give or take. So that's what we're looking at for the triple Qs when it comes to downside. When it comes to upside, 534 is your key level. We'll say 535, which is your psych level. From there, obviously, you're heading towards your previous highs. All right, and you're really close. Like, you're really, really close. The issue right now is that these guys right here, okay, that's the issue. These guys right here, bulls keep trying to push past these guys. If we manage to push past these guys, you're looking at a short squeeze. All right, so these guys right here, I mean, we made an attempt here, couldn't, ended up failing. Bear stepped in. Bulls tried to gather more liquidity. We're trying it again. Okay, we're trying to break through this again. And so this leads me to semiconductors, because semiconductors are in a very interesting spot here. And if anything was going to lead a short squeeze or rally, whatever you want to call it, it would be semiconductors, in my opinion, because I do genuinely believe that some of these semiconductor names are behind in comparison to SMH. Like, we're seeing SMH pump, but we're not really getting that. We're not getting much of a reaction from Nvidia, Marvell, a lot of these semiconductor names. We're just not getting that big reaction that you would expect, considering how much SMH has been pumping towards the upside, right? And so when we're looking at semiconductors, they look really, really good, guys. Like, it's really hard to be bearish on the semiconductor ETF, right? But again, when you go to this 4-hour time frame, look what happened. Look right here. You have this pattern right here, very similar, right? Very similar. And look what happened when we formed this pattern. We gapped down, but we ended up recovering back towards the upside. So we could be looking at the same scenario here, where we gap down tomorrow or maybe Wednesday. We watch that VIX play, that VIX alert play out right here, and then maybe we recover back towards the upside. So even if we gap down, as long as we hold our key level of 256, you guys see it right here, you rejected it here. As long as we hold 256, 255 psych level on SMH, it's very much possible that we recover back towards the upside. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out. But I mean, again, semiconductors look really good. You guys are seeing my like Wi-Fi or internet really freeze up right now. But that's pretty much my point here, guys. Hopefully it all makes sense. Right now, I would say that even if we do dip, right? Here we go. Okay, so even if we do dip, heading into tomorrow, historically short weeks are bullish. This week is a short week. We got a 4-day week. I believe the market is closed Thursday, Juneteenth or whatever. So we do have a short week, and historically the market is notoriously bullish for short weeks. So even if we do get a dip, and you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to play out, you know, this week, but even if we do get a dip, I do imagine that we're going to recover back towards the upside. In regards to this war between Israel and Iran, the market has never cared for war. Okay, the market has just never really cared for war. It would act like it cares for war, but ultimately, a few days later, if not a week, the market forgets about it. Right? Israel, Iran, you know, all these major not major, these countries, they've been fighting for years. So why would the market care about it now? You know, so the market's gonna act like it cares, but ultimately, in the long run, even not even a long run, the short run, the market just moves on from these type of events. And I do imagine that if U.S. troops, because Donald Trump has been warning that he may send U.S. troops down there, I do think the market is going to have a negative reaction to that. But again, I think it's going to be short-lived. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's going to be short-lived, and then we're just going to move on to the next thing. Okay, so this is always how the market goes. The reason being is that my personal belief is that war doesn't affect big tech, right? It doesn't affect Google. It doesn't affect Apple. It doesn't really do anything to the mainland United States, you know. So in the long run, when it comes to war and things like that, it just doesn't affect anything that really moves the market outside of maybe oil, gold, things like that. Like, but ultimately, it doesn't affect, you know, your Mag 7s. Okay, you know, Netflix is people are still gonna watch Netflix while this war is going on. So that's just my thoughts. That's why I think the market never has really cared for war. You know, it'll act like it cares in the short run, but ultimately, you know, a few days later, you're on to the next thing, and the next thing is probably rate cuts or tariffs or whatever the case may be. Tariffs has an effect on the market. You know, rate cuts has an effect on the market. You know, directly on the market. So we'll see. But Nvidia, 145. Me personally, 145 cycle level, 146. You just can't hold above it. We saw life in Nvidia. Me personally, I do think Nvidia has the potential to head towards 153, 155 range. Obviously, there's probably going to be a dip along the way, but as long as Nvidia stays below 144, it's very much possible that you head towards this gap fill here at around 142. And the lowest you could go is about 137. Okay, 137. You do have some type of, it looks like there's some type of pattern forming here, maybe an ascending triangle here, but ultimately ended up getting invalidated, it looks like. Yeah, this thing got invalidated. You just broke right back in it. So we'll see. But it looks like Nvidia could revisit 142. It's not really far from here before potentially heading back towards the upside. Like I said, I think semiconductors are kind of behind right now. I do. Okay, I think semiconductors are going to want to catch up, and that's going to be the next thing that really causes the market to rally. So in conclusion, all right. So in conclusion, just in case things don't make sense, I know a lot of you got goldfish memory, right? Spy. All right, spy is kind of breaking down after hours, but you in conclusion, you have evening star patterns on the 4-hour time frame. And if you look in the past, every time an evening star pattern has formed on the SPY, you ended up gapping down, right? Evening star pattern here, you ended up gapping down. So I do imagine that we may gap down heading into tomorrow if history decides to repeat itself. Triple Qs, same thing, right? If you go to the 4-hour time frame, I mean, here we go again. I do apologize, guys. Just bear with me. But you guys saw it, right? If we go to the 4-hour time frame on the triple Qs, you saw the evening star patterns and you saw how it played out in the past. Then I imagine we're going to gap down. Now, interesting enough, the daily time frame, right? If we manage to pretty much hold our key levels, if we look at the daily time frame on the triple Qs and on the SPY, you have somewhat of a morning star pattern, right? I would prefer this candle to be bearish, but you do have a morning star pattern. So if we do dip, and let's say we hold our key levels, it's very much possible that we just get a slight dip. Maybe Wednesday we get some good news, and then we pump back towards the upside, maybe short squeeze. Because I mean, previous highs is right there, okay, right there. So it'll be very surprising that we don't at least hit very like maybe 538 on the triple Qs at minimum. But if we don't, then it is what it is. So that's my thought process. If you're not in the Discord, just keep in mind, maybe screenshot this. VIX calls for June 18th came in for the Discord bot. It's very rare. I don't think I've ever seen a VIX call, even VIX puts, miss when this with this thing. So I do expect some type of spike to happen. Maybe we get news overnight. So keep that in mind as well. So my point here, hopefully it all makes sense, but my point here is that if we do get a dip, pay attention to key levels, because it's very much possible that the dip is short-lived. Historically, short weeks are bullish. Or majority bullish, so just keep that in mind as well. You have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comments in the comments below. And that's pretty much all I have. I do apologize for the bad quality, because the internet keeps freezing up. Probably have to reset it due to all these storms that's been happening lately. So yeah, that's all I have. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Until the next video, traders, have a good one.